In this video, I'm going to show you how to live stream using OBS, which is a free piece of software for your Mac or Windows computer. OBS has many great features that makes it ideally suited to streaming for gamers, but can also be used for DJing, online tutorials, and really any application where you want to share the contents of your computer screen to an online audience. In this video, I'm going to take you through a typical scenario for a game stream on Twitch, but I'll be showing you a number of features in OBS that you can use to pretty much accommodate any type of stream or video presentation. With a game stream, typically you want to have a full screen view of the game and at the same time show a small face to camera video over the top and place it in one of the corners, along with some on-screen graphics that may include your logo or brand elements, or even a call to action such as subscribe, donate, etc. You can do all of this with just your computer, provided it has a built-in webcam and microphone, or if you have the equipment, you can use an external camera and microphone that will give you more flexibility and generally a higher degree of quality. For this demo, I'll be using my Canon EOS R and my Rode NT1 microphone, which are both connected via USB to my MacBook Pro. Let's begin by opening up OBS and creating our first scene. Okay, so I've got OBS open up. I'm on version 27.1.3. It's always advised that you go to the OBS website and download the latest version to make sure you're getting the optimal experience and best compatibility with your particular operating system, whether it's Windows, Mac, or Linux. So I'm on the Mac version today. There's a few specific things we're going to be talking about in relation to Mac, but overall, the same experience that you're going to be seeing here on the Mac applies to when you're using OBS on a Windows machine or even Linux. Let's take a look at the overall interface and design so I can show you through the main sections of OBS and what you need to be doing in order to configure your main gaming stream. So in the top section here, you can see a large preview window. This is where your media will be previewed. You can actually go into studio mode by clicking on the studio mode icon in the controls on the bottom right-hand corner, and that will toggle between the split view mode and single screen. In split view, you get to see the preview of your content on the left-hand side, with the transition control panel in the middle and the program screen on the right that will actually show you what's currently streaming. And this particular view mode is useful when you're streaming multiple scenes to a live event. So you can be previewing your scenes on the left-hand side and then clicking on fade or cut in to transition them across to your live view mode. We're going to go back to the single preview mode for the basic setup so that it's larger and you can see exactly what I'm doing on screen. So to begin an OBS stream, you first need to create a scene. These are found on the bottom left-hand side and they're usually empty. I'd previously created a couple of scenes for testing, but when you first open the app, you'll probably find that this section is empty. And then next to that, you get a sources window where you get to add your media to each scene. There's an audio mixer next to that. And then we have our transition screen followed by our controls. So to start with, we're going to click on the plus button and create our first scene. I had already created one called scene 1. So now I'm going to create a second scene, calling it scene 2. And I'll create one more, calling it scene 3. Now, before we can take advantage of screen sharing when using OBS on the Mac, we have to go into our settings and enable screen recording for OBS, as this is a security feature that's built into OS X. If you're using a Windows computer, you won't have to go through this step, but if you are using Mac, simply click on the Apple icon, click on System Preferences, and then click on Security and Privacy. And then in the Privacy tab, scroll down till you get to Screen Recording. Click on the lock icon below to enable access, then click on the tick next to OBS and close the security control panel. Now there's one other thing we're going to do to enable audio to be streamed on a Mac, and this again is exclusive to Mac because of all the privacy limitations that are built into OS X, and that is to install black hole audio, which will allow us to capture the screen recording of audio on our Mac. Now this is a whole topic in itself which I'm not going to cover in this tutorial, but I have created one on the topic, and I'll leave a link to that video in the description box below if you need to know how to record screen audio on your Mac. So I'm going to click on the plus button icon, and I'm going to select either display capture or window capture. If you select the display capture option, a window will pop up. You'll see that the display resolution will appear, and you have an option to either show your cursor or not display the cursor during your screen capture. You notice that I have a purple highlight over my mouse. That's because I'm using the app called Pro Mouse, which you can purchase online, costs around $5 or $6. Without that, you would just see the regular Apple mouse cursor. When you see it in this mode, it kind of looks a bit strange. It has this infinite mirroring effect that kind of looks a bit like the movie Inception, where you have a dream within a dream and so on until infinity. But that's only in this preview mode. When you click OK, you'll see that the entire contents of your screen is being recorded. However, if you look at it, it's actually not capturing the whole screen. So we're going to grab the handle and we're going to minimize that screen and bring it down to fit within our OBS window. Now, once you do put a game in there or any other content, you'll just get that one instance of the game. So that's one way of recording your screen using OBS. We're going to tick on the eye icon to hide that for now and have a look at the second way, which is using the window capture, which I actually prefer, as you can just capture the window content of your game. So there's a couple of examples here that I'm going to line up for you. Let's call this game capture. So we've got a couple of games open. One is in a web browser. So if you happen to be playing any game in an online web browser, you can go and find the web browser window in the drop-down section here. And as you can see, it's now loaded up that web browser instance of the game. If you want to get rid of the top section of the browser bar, hold down the Option key and drag, and you can crop into that game. And then you can move it around the screen and resizing it by dragging the red bounding box until it fits in the full screen. So there's a second way of adding a game. And you can also open up any game on your operating system doing the same thing. And I've got another game here called Code of War. We'll just open that up from our app control center. And that's gone into full screen mode at the moment. Obviously, it makes it hard for me to actually see what's going on OBS. So once it loads up, we're going to hit the minimize screen so that it's minimized to a small window. And we are now going to add a new instance of window capture. And we're going to find the Code of War game. And we're going to select OK. And we can resize the game to fill out our screen. Okay, for the benefit of the rest of the tutorial, I'm now going to show you how to stream or play a pre-recorded video file. So this is useful for those of you that are putting together a YouTube video where you want to combine some face-to-camera video footage along with pre-recorded gameplay, and even for those of you that are live streaming where you do have a pre-recorded scene that you'd like to play during your live stream. To do that, we're going to click on the plus button icon in the sources window and add media source. And I'm going to add a video file that I recorded on my PC earlier, which is a small clip from the game The Witcher. So let's open that video file up. Let's click on OK. And as you can see, it's now playing the video clip of that game recording right here in the preview window. It's not at full size, so in order to scale that out, simply grab one of the handles on the red box around the footage and drag it till it becomes full screen. And then you can use the playhead here to go to any point in the timeline if you want to preview your composition. And we can go back to the sources section and now add a face to camera overlay. So to do that, click on the plus button icon and we're going to select the video capture device option. And I'm going to call that face to camera and click on OK. And then for the device, I'm going to choose my EOS webcam utility. If you're using the built-in camera, you can select the FaceTime HD camera. If you're on a PC, it might come up with a different name. It might be called webcam or internal camera. So whatever camera you're using, select it from the list. And I'm going to go with that webcam utility. Select OK. And as you can see, it's a little bit large. So I'm going to grab the red handle in the bottom corner and drag it down. And then you can move it into any corner of the screen, top left, top right, or bottom left. So for this example, why don't I try the top right-hand corner of the screen? Let's make that a little bit smaller. Let's position it about there. And if I click on the Witcher window, I can click on play and I can preview the game and you can see the face to camera video as well. So in terms of the audio for that face to camera input, I could use the audio coming in from the Canon, or I could add an external audio microphone. So what I might do here, there's no audio coming in from the Canon right now because I haven't set it up that way. So I'm going to click on the plus button icon and we're now going to add an audio input capture and click OK. And now we can select the built-in microphone. And now it's using the audio input of my Mac and I can adjust the volume. That was a little bit too high so that it's at the right level. So now I have a video source and I've also got the audio source using the built-in microphone on the Mac. If I wanted to connect a USB microphone, I could select that as the audio capture input. And then we're pretty much ready to go for our basic stream. But what we can do now is to make it look a bit better by adding a border around the face to camera section and also adding some additional on-screen elements. Now to create a border, you could simply use the color source option. Click on color source, click on color. Let's go with a yellow here so it really stands out. Let's resize it. And let's position that below the face to camera. And resize it. Resize it and position it so that we get a border. Now, if you wanted to make something a little bit more interesting for a border, you could also create your own custom graphics in Photoshop and drag that in. Or you could even create something in a video editing program that has a little bit of animation. So I've prepared a frame which has a flashing icon to denote that the stream is actually happening live. And I've already pre-prepared that and I'm going to go and grab that as a media source. Call this frame. Find it from my assets folder. It's called goldborder.movie. And most importantly, I'm going to select loop here so that it continues to loop, being a video file. And then I'm going to drag that into place and resize it so that it fits over my footage. And as you can see, I've now got a gold border around my face to camera video with a flashing white icon. The only thing I've got left to do there is to add some text, which I can add from within OBS. Let's call this live streaming. Put the words live streaming in the text box. Actually, let's make it all capital. Okay. Let's again grab it by the corner of the red box and resize it so that it fits right next to that flashing white dot. That's pretty cool. So now we have a picture-in-picture type display where we have our gameplay playing on the base layer. And in the top right-hand corner, we have our face to camera footage. Now, if you find that you want to change the position of your picture-in-picture, you can simply move it. But what I'm going to do is to duplicate scene 1. And we now have scene 1 and scene 2. And with scene 2 highlighted, I'm going to go into the frame. And actually, we're going to have to group these first. Let's go face to camera. Frame and live streaming can all be grouped. So right click, group selected items, and call this picture-in-picture window. And we are now going to move that to the bottom left-hand corner. So we have scene 1 where the picture-in-picture window is in the top right-hand corner, and I can click on scene 2 so that it appears on the bottom left-hand corner. So when it comes to streaming, if we click on studio mode, on the left-hand side, I can line up scene 1, fade that one in, and then I'm live streaming that instance. Click on scene 2 in the preview window, fade that one in, and now we have the same scene occurring with my picture-in-picture window on the bottom left-hand corner. Let's go back to scene 1. Let's go back from studio mode to regular view mode, and let's add a few final elements for our stream before we actually take it live. So let's click on the plus button again, and this time we're going to add image, and I'm going to call this one border. Browse. And we're going to select gold frames, which I had prepared in Photoshop earlier, which puts some gold framing on the left and right hand side. I'm going to duplicate scene 2. This can be the social screen. And then we're going to add another image, social media icons. Navigate to my assets folder, and I'd already pre-prepared some social media icons. Select open, okay. And actually we're going to have to move that picture-in-picture window once again to the top right. And if I wanted to, I could even add those frames again. So there is a basic setup for a live stream with a picture-in-picture, face-to-camera video, along with the gameplay playing on the base layer and some graphic elements to make it more interesting. So once we've got all that set up, we are ready to start streaming. To do that, click on the settings icon and then go into the stream option. Click on Twitch. You can connect automatically, which is recommended. If you're already logged into Twitch in your web browser, you can click that option and it should automatically connect. Or if you don't want to do it that way, you can go into your settings of Twitch, go into stream, copy your stream key and paste it right there into the stream key option. Click on OK. And then once you've done that, you are ready to start streaming by clicking on the Start Streaming option in the controls on the right-hand corner. When you finish your stream, click on Stop Streaming. Now, if you wanted to create a video of your gameplay instead of streaming, saving it down to your hard drive so that you could upload it to any social media platform of choice, instead of clicking the Start Streaming option, simply click on Start Recording, and you'll have a recording of your gameplay and face to camera along with graphic overlay, all combined into one video that you can use to upload onto social media. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit me up with a like and consider subscribing to the channel so you'll be notified of up and coming video releases. See you on the next one. Bye for now.